Well, he makes music with a mission. A local piano player is using his skills to help others. David Gurwitz is a self-taught musician who's sharing his talent with the Special Olympics of Connecticut. David, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, last week you played a concert at Special Olympics in Connecticut, and we just want to listen to a song that you dedicated to the athletes.
Okay.
I'm already crying. You know, it's very emotional. Tell us how you started playing music, because you are a lawyer, you are an accountant, this is kind of a later in life.
Absolutely. I was sitting in a math class when I was 19 years old, and the professor drew a keyboard and showed that there's a pattern to the keyboard that followed something known as the Fibonacci sequence, which turns out to be the most prevalent pattern in nature. I couldn't believe it. I'm a basketball player. I ran down to the music building. I went like this. And I had dribbled so many times, I had it in my hand, and I played, and I somehow combined music and math and sports. And
this was at 19 years old?
This was at 19 years old, more than a couple of years ago.
Okay. And tell me how you got involved with the Special Olympics.
I have a friend on the board of Connecticut Special Olympics, and he told me about the organization, and I didn't know anything about all the different groups that help and all the different college kids that volunteer their time. I got involved with the head of development, who I asked her one day, could I please have photos of the athletes? And I took a song I wrote called Hear the Children, which I can tell you about in a second, because that's the only song I have with words, because everything's just piano. And I made a video, which you can see, that's very inspiring. And the music came first, but it seemed like it was done getting ready to eventually make the video, because it's so inspiring to show the athletes and how beautiful they are.
It really is. How did being raised in the Bronx affect your music?
It seems Bronx kids are all over the news these days, you know, getting put in for the Supreme Court, and the head of my friend Adolfo Carrion, the former Bronx Borough president. I grew up playing basketball. I heard music in the 60s. My brother ear-trained me on a radio. We used to play Name That Tune. I can't read music, and I was just, I guess as I got older, I lived near the Cross Bronx Expressway, so I kept hearing sounds, and I guess one of the things I've learned to do over time is to listen closely when people speak, or to hear trucks, and someone inspires me to play all sorts of things. I've got songs inspired by mothers. My wife's raised a bunch of kids, including me, and the first song you come to when you get to the site is Motherhood, and everybody says that it's very inspiring, and the music very visual. So the Bronx, I went to Bronx High School of Science, where actually the one who created the synthesizer, Robert Moog, went to Bronx School of Science, so I studied a lot of science and math back then.
And you are inspired by so many things around you. You say you have a lot of Chinese friends, which inspired a song.
That's right. I was sitting and talking with a lot of Chinese friends, and
we love the Chinese, by the way.
Yeah, I know. In China, it's an interesting fact, Chinese is a very musical language. It's actually got a very high percentage of speakers who have perfect pitch. I think there's 15 million people playing piano in China. I'm actually planning a tour in China. One day I sat down at the piano, and I had just spoken with one of my Chinese friends, and I started playing, and the song came out, which you could see on the site, called China. It sounds like China, and so I'm grateful it came.
All right, David, thank you so much for being here. Beautiful music and the beautiful work you do.
Thank you very much.
Well, for more information about David's music, log on to our website, WCBSTV.com.